Well, today, this is just almost too. It's too good. Like so one of the byproducts of us having a YouTube channel is some of the customers will come in and they've had these like very wacky experiences.
Yep.
And today, I guess like I just had to make this video about one of these wacky experiences that a new customer of ours that came in yesterday to get some airbrushes stuff. He wanted to get an airbrushing. And you know, in typical like just, you know, store conversation, you know, I always ask where people are from and, you know, what's their local store and the stores around them like. And this guy had a doozy, a treat, just a nothing but a treat for me. So this gentleman, we'll call him Cloud.
Cloud?
Final Fantasy's coming out.
Oh my god. Okay.
So Cloud is into the hobby. They've been in the hobby a long time, but they're just kind of getting back into it a little bit.
Cloud.
And he's at his limit break. He's looking for some.
He's in his limit break. I like this is getting going. Yeah.
He's looking for a place to get some stuff from. So he just recently moved to a new city, which is this is a typical story for a lot of people that have this experience from a couple hours away. So brand new to the neighborhood, and he's like, yeah, maybe I'll try to make some new friends.
Sure.
You know,
you pop by. Yeah.
You do the pop in, right?
Pop in.
So he pops in. He's with his wife, which is awesome. His wife supports his hobby. She's going to check out the place with him.
Yeah, or she's making sure he doesn't. Or she's there to limit
make sure.
Him
from spending a fortune.
Spending a buck. Yeah. Supervising.
And Cloud's a pretty positive guy. He's looking to just have some fun, and he wants to buy his toys and have a good time, and he's just looking for some casual games. And he walks into this. What are we going to call this place?
I don't know. Timmy's Emporium.
Curmudgeon's.
Old Main Timmy. Old Jaded Timmy.
Old Jaded Timmy's.
Or it's Jimmy's. Maybe it's Jimmy's.
Jimmy's Hobbies.
Jimmy's Hobbies.
Jimmy's Hobbies.
Jimmy's Hobbies.
Jimmy's Hobbies has been the
Jimmy is Timmy's rival, obviously.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. Jimmy's Hobbies.
So Jimmy's there too, because of course Jimmy's there. He's always there.
Yep.
And Jimmy's been in it for a while. Long time. Jimmy's seen some things.
Oh yeah. Too much.
And you can see it on Jimmy's face when you meet him, right?
Yeah.
And for those of you who've been in the hobby a long time, you know who we're talking about here. Yeah. We've done videos about these topics, about different store owners.
Yes.
You can go back and find those. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And without much prompting, because you don't really have to prompt Jimmy that much to get Jimmy going.
He'll just start going.
Jimmy loves to go on a rant.
Yes.
So Jimmy starts ranting about how Games Workshop are a bunch of bastards.
Oof, yep.
And how
Heard that one before.
they no longer carry GW because of that. And
yikes.
That's
a bold move.
It's a set yourself on fire move.
That's a bold move. Yeah. You're like, this company is going to the absolute moon year after year, and you're like, nah.
But they're bastards.
They're bastards. Yeah.
So Jimmy's made a strong statement to someone who's brand new to their store, unprompted, more or less.
Nice.
And then
so that person's like, whoa.
So there's already like eyes are going wide a little bit here, right?
Yep.
Whew, this is very intense.
Yep.
And
Jimmy's wife is like, or Timmy's wife, or sorry, Cloud's wife.
Cloud is a stud, man. He's going in there.
So Cloud's wife is already like, I told you this.
Yeah.
No, sorry, guys. Places are stupid or whatever.
Yeah, and like just reaffirming every bias this poor lady has about the hobby. God bless her. You know,
like I can't believe you go to these places and buy these toys from these. Gyms.
And now Cloud has to wear the shame.
He has to wear the shame. Yeah. He's so embarrassed.
Oh man.
Yep.
So
it gets better.
It gets so much better. Sure. Cloud's kind of just trying to inquire about like, I like the Games Workshop stuff and blah, 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 you know. And Jimmy's like, stop there. Stop. Okay. You can bring that stuff in. It's fine. Like,
okay.
They've got table space.
Okay.
But we'll make fun of you for it.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay. That's an interesting way to phrase that. Yeah. So he did a weird like, it's okay, but no, actually it's terrible.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. Just already.
Okay, so you're thinking
already ribbing him.
The models that I was looking to buy. Yeah. You don't not only do you not have them, but you dislike me for liking it. And you're going to actively Okay, I feel pretty welcome.
That sounds pretty awkward. Yeah.
It's pretty awkward, man. But it gets better because there are upsides to going to
Imagine
Jimmy's.
going to like like a grocery store and like and the produce guys like, look at this loser buying apples.
You like Vector cereal? I'm gonna make fun of you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This loser buying apples.
This loser buying
What are you,
apples.
healthy or something?
What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah.
But don't worry, Jimmy's has upsides.
Okay.
There's upsides to going to this kind of place. You know,
Okay. Maybe the rest of the store is awesome. I guess.
anything goes.
Okay.
What do you?
Oh, I guess.
What do you think of when someone says that to you? What?
Well, I'm gonna be like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I would be genuinely curious. What does anything goes mean? I guess it would mean you can play whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Kind of.
Bring
yeah.
your printed army in, and no questions asked.
It is like
Play your games of Saga in the corner.
it's like the Moss Isley of
Mos Eisley,
Sure. Of hobby stores.
Okay.
Basically, he's like, you want to crack a beer, you crack a beer.
Crack a beer. Okay.
It's like, okay.
Okay.
So like we're getting shut down.
I would be
yeah.
doing the like.
You're like looking for cameras at this point. You're like, am I getting pranked?
Yeah.
Am I getting pranked right now?
Prank a little bit. I'd be like, okay. Well, actually, either that or I'd be looking for the bar. I guess to be like, is this a real?
Right.
Maybe
no,
it's a.
no. There's no licensing. There's
nothing. Okay.
It's a saloon.
It's someone's. It's a saloon. Okay. Okay. Might as well be just some.
No, there's just
garage.
it's just that Jimmy's out of F's to give, right? Like
Right.
he's lost the F's or whatever, and
So we basically wandered into
Yeah.
to Jimmy's like garage, like
Yeah.
the guys in the maybe it's a Canadian thing or whatever. You get the garage, that's the man cave,
and keep in mind,
and it's just doors just open and other guys in the neighborhood just can roam in. I guess.
while Jimmy's like talking to this
Yeah.
our poor character Cloud here in the story, he's also like he's just hanging out with some people. It looks like he's just hanging out with some
Oh, okay.
friends, basically at the
Sure.
table. So it's like it's already got that vibe. It's very cliquey.
Yeah,
and, And you're kind of it's like it feels like you're walking in on a private
yeah,
meeting almost,
Yeah.
right? And just to top it all off, unprompted or whatever, he kind of just mentions that, but don't worry, we're not celebrating that Pride Month stuff.
Oh
So-
wow, cool.
So yeah,
Sweet.
anything goes at Jimmy's except don't be gay or whatever.
Don't be gay.
So-
and
Yeah.
don't like GW.
Yeah.
So by that
So-
assumption, I would imagine that if you like GW, then you must be gay or whatever. Is that like, according to
To
that
a person like Jimmy,
Yeah.
I imagine that's how his
Yes,
brain works.
That's how his brain must work.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pretty yikes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cloud's just like
Cloud is fully freaked out at this point. Like,
yeah. He's just apologizing to his wife profusely. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know
and
this would happen."
but you know what? The Cloud is the hero in the story because he brought this story to us.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And
Thank you.
and God bless for that. So
yeah. Well, that tells me that Jimmy isn't really interested in making $1. This guy is just hanging out.
So
Yeah.
okay, let's I'd love
his
to break
garage.
this. I'd love to break this down into two parts as we kind of like just chat about this in a real sense or whatever. Number one, let's talk about how did someone get to become a Jimmy? Because you don't start out usually that way.
Yeah, I mean, for the anti-GW sentiment, sorry, this is a bit of a tale as old as time. There's always a percentage of hobby stores that have during different eras. It's not like there were different times, or at different times games workshop operated differently. For our 10 years, it's been very smooth. But usually, there's always something where the store owner has been upset about, or gotten upset enough that they've dropped the thing because, I don't know, maybe GW stopped sending them stuff, probably because they didn't pay their bill, or maybe because they need to carry all the new stuff and they're not willing to, or who knows what, a million reasons. Or maybe they have a bad sales rep and it didn't go well and they couldn't get help. I don't know, but this happens. So that doesn't shock me because I've seen it and heard it many times. I don't know why it happens that way, although I know our comments in the past when we've done this, covered that topic, there's always someone that says like, yeah, they were terrible in this, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can only give you my side, and
I think like
we've had a few hiccups where we've had to like escalate something or bring something up and get something rectified, but generally speaking, for 10 years, so let's say for over 500 transactions, because it's like 1 or 2 a week, for 10 years it's been like I ask thing, I send you money, and you send me thing, and more or less it's pretty flawless. Like, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, like what.
Look, I mean, like, I will not lie and say that there's nothing. Yeah, like what you said. There's nothing that's happened in those 10 years that hasn't irked me about it. You know, about a change that a company's made to a policy change or how they do things. You know, like little things like when we first opened, they had different rules about where you could open a store.
Sure.
And they've made changes to that, and it made it a little bit like more competitive and that sort of thing, right? So like you know, when we first opened, there was no stores. You know, we had to like move our like location scouting to avoid inflicting on other stores.
Yeah.
But like other stores that came later didn't have to do that, and they could open like down the street from us and stuff like that, right? So I mean, like you can there stuff like that. There's a lot of instances of things like that happening over the years, right? Where maybe the like the way that the stock gets divvied out in certain situations, or but
I mean, yeah. When I think of some stock allocation issues, it was mostly, at least my recent memory was, it was during literally the whatever the coldest, longest nights of COVID, or whatever you want to talk about it. So if you think back rationally, you're like, yeah, probably makes sense that there was some nonsense going on. They were trying to figure something out themselves, and they only had so many of certain things, and everyone's dying for products so that their store doesn't close. So yeah, like when times are not like that, then it's usually fine. Like this,
and look, like
and they change things to make it less likely to happen or whatever. They've changed their whole like ordering scheme to basically prevent that from occurring. So you know, so when you see a company like actively making a change to try and fix something, you have to be like, okay, like you know,
that. And I'll always look. I think if you're going to run a business, I think in any aspect of your life, you have to always weigh things against, like, in a context, right? And this does require you to kind of take a step back and like try to calm down and like put your emotions aside and think about things logically. And I'll always grade GW, because I think it's the only fair way to do it. I'll always grade GW against all of the other things that we bring into the store and how they treat us and the margins and all this sort of customer service stuff. And there's like nothing about how they operate that is outside of that boundary. Like, they're not worse than anybody else.
Yep.
And they're better in a lot of cases to deal with than a lot of other companies.
Yep. Sure.
Still today, even after a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And like, quite frankly, if you're running a business like Jimmy is, getting rid of GW is a bit like what do they call it? Like, you know, shooting your own leg off, or cutting your own leg off.
Yep.
You know,
shoot yourself in the foot.
Like to prove a point to somebody, or like what is the other thing? Like you take poison and hope it like the other person gets poisoned.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know, taking poison yourself and hoping someone else.
You can even
gets...
like, you know, just simply from like a simple sales thing. You know, if you may not carry a brand or a certain product, that's fine. Like, you know, if their business, lots of places, even within the hobby store world, there's places that are like, all they do is model trains. I'm not gonna walk in there and be no. Where's your GW? No. I can't believe, and they might just be like, well, we don't do that. And,
well, of course.
And I'd be like, okay, there's no need to add the extra on top. It serves no purpose other than to, like, I guess, set the precedent that the store owner or the store dislikes that, and now by extension dislikes you, basically. So then why would you come back? It's like all they had to say is like, no, we don't deal in this is like, people come to my store that don't do any, maybe they don't do, they're just walk-ins. They don't know what Warhammer is, or what, maybe they saw a board game or Pokemon, and they'll just ask like, what is this place? And I'll be like, yeah, well, there's these toy soldiers you paint and you play games with them, and they'll be like, okay, like,
cool, yeah, you know, we're not like, oh, we don't carry this thing because it's stupid, or
I'm not asking
what you are isn't what you don't do, it's the things you do, right?
And then sure, so then obviously the absolute cherry on top is the frankly anti-human or whatever.
I mean, we've talked about, like, I did that little politics video before. It's like, you know, there's a lot of reasons not to get into politics when you're running a business, right? With people, it's just like, it's a bit of a nightmare, right? Like, especially unprompted. Oh my goodness, right?
I mean, yeah, like that's again insanity. Obviously, other than just being like absolutely abhorrent or whatever.
So we've talked about how like Jimmy could have gotten to where he is. Right?
Oh yes.
And so I guess the bigger question is like, what could Jimmy be instead of himself right now that would be actually helping him as a hobby store owner? Right, and I think you kind of pointed to one thing where it's essentially like,
I mean, he needs to not be there.
well, probably at this point, probably
He really doesn't.
Yeah.
He needs to be completely hands off. The less we know about Jimmy,
oh my god,
the better.
Yeah.
Because like,
but that like how he could have handled that, our wonderful Cloud character coming into the store is like a friendly greeting,
sure,
and being excited to tell them about the things they do sell,
yeah,
instead
No,
of
sure.
hating on the things they don't. Right, like if you embrace that decision, I'm not saying it's a good decision, but if you did embrace that decision, you could make it work in theory, right? Like let's say you're gonna sell.
Well, when people come in, when their wonderful trench crusaders come in, and
Yeah.
we have no minis to sell them, but we're like, cool. How are you painting your guys?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Look at all the ways we can help you with the thing
Yeah.
that you like doing.
I don't want to stand
You know.
here and talk to you about how you 3D printed them, but I'll definitely talk about your hobby project.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's exactly it, right? Like he could have been like, yeah, I mean, that's cool that you did Worm. Have you ever seen Bolt Action?
Oh, sure.
It's a really cool game. Let me show it to you.
Let me show you this other. It's like,
And it's not like half of us that are interested in models aren't going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. If you love Warhammer, you probably will be at least somewhat piqued by.
And maybe if
Other minis.
maybe if Cloud feels welcome in that store just to exist or whatever, he might want to come back for paints,
Yeah.
right? Like the guy sells paint. It's like,
Yeah.
don't you want a customer to buy your paints
Well, yeah.
and brushes and
Yeah.
primers and glues?
No, Jimmy
and-
doesn't want anyone in his store. Apparently,
Jimmy's just so mad.
he's so mad.
How did it get that way? Jimmy needs a hug or something. Jimmy's heart is full of hate. And hate is not good for business, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. I think that to wrap the video up, I think that gets back to the core of it. It's like, it's easy to forget that like a hobby store needs to be fun and like lighthearted and
Welcoming.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. Like, these are like the basic things you have to get right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't get these basic things right, just don't do this. Like, if you can't run a hobby store, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You can do so many other things. It's awesome.
Go look at our videos about numbers. Just start with that, but that also like
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't have to be a personable person. Like, not everybody's up for that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of energy out of me to smile and
Yeah.
and give, like, not 100%. I can't do that. 100% is asking a lot. Give a lot of percent to people that come in and be excited, and it takes energy, right? And it takes a mindset. And you have to,
Retail sales, all of that social interaction is like we said many times, not for everyone, for sure. It does, and to do it well, it requires being on. And some people are very natural at it, and other people it really takes.
That's the thing, is like, if you're thinking of opening a shop and you're going to be your main employee,
Yeah.
that is another thing to massively consider. Is, do you have the energy levels? Do you have the positivity? Do you have that welcoming nature? Do you
not hate people? Yeah.
Yeah. Specific groups of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. And yeah, that's mostly why we wanted to share this example, is just to kind of reiterate, like, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn into comic book store guy after 15, 20 years. It is hard not to, but some days I feel a little bit like
of that
comic
entire
book store.
interaction, like I said, we've already like said many times, is like the being like jaded, a little jaded or whatever, or just being, let's say, a smidgen negative overall because you've been doing it for like 15, 20 years and you've seen so much, and like it's still a small business that is like being attacked from all angles all the time, and so like I can definitely like somewhat
relate
and sympathize and be like, yeah, I know, wasn't it nonsense how the latest Pokemon allocation was so pathetic, or that this price went up, gouged on this, or this distributor made a policy change that did unfortunately affect a bunch of us. Like, I'm there, man. I can be there and be like, yeah, I know it's hard, yeah, but blah blah blah. We can share our like stories, war stories, but the like projecting it and turning it into like I'm just gonna
Making it your personality.
bring your personality. It's like you just shouldn't be in business. Like
Yeah.
that's probably you're probably way past that point, but you probably should have closed or just stopped doing this, or had a general manager if you can afford it. Whatever, have someone else do it. Stay home because you're fast tracking the end of your. You know what I mean? Like this guy literally. Jimmy literally, Cloud's never shopping there again, and
Probably
Cloud's
not.
gonna tell, and now his wife's there too. His wife's also gonna tell other people, be like, yeah, don't go to Jimmy's. Jimmy's.
It's anti word of mouth, right? Like,
Yeah.
Businesses like this thrive off word of mouth,
Yeah.
right? Like the reason Cloud was in our store was because one of his friends got an airbrush from us,
Right.
and they had a positive experience.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
shocker, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
it's easy to forget that stuff is like the negativity is toxic and contagious,
Oh,
just
man.
like the positivity is, right? So, well, hopefully you enjoyed our little story time. If you've had any kind of crazy experiences at a hobby store, please let us know. Patreon is like the best place for that. You can sign up even as a free member. You can message us on there. But if you'd like to support us, we'd really appreciate it. We're trying to do some limited content on there. You can also check out our second channel, which is just purely hobby focused, where we review products, talk about our own hobbies, try to show you things we've learned in the last 30 years of doing this silly hobby. And yeah, it's called Lords of War Hobby Channel if you want to go find it. Well, thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Bye.